Hey folks, well, we're back here at the cabin today. This is the first time we've been out here this spring. Actually, it's the start of a new season, and we're going to be working on building a ridge beam. We're going to build that up out of wood using material off the sawmill. We're going to laminate that beam with 1/2-inch plywood, and we're going to also glue it, nail it, and screw it. I have one piece of plywood already nailed and glued onto this. It's a 2x10 rough cut, and it's not green. I actually cut this last summer, so it's fairly dry. I'd say by the way things are going, it's probably down to around 16 to 18% moisture right now.
Getting it all on the floor. Well, stop. Stop.
Well folks, that's one side of this beam completed. This is 33 feet long, which actually gives me about 1 inch to play with here when I get it up to level everything, and I'll trim it. Well, now what we got to do is I got to flip this over, and I'll apply the plywood to the opposite side. And what I'm going to do, of course, is stagger these joints. You can see where the plywood is butted up on there. We'll center that over the next 8-foot strip. Well, everybody, that finishes up this part of the beam. Liz is over there just cleaning up the glue that's squished out. Now what we got to do is put another 2x on top of this, glue it and screw it down, and we'll flip it over and do it again on the other side, and then we're all ready to put this up. I've already got my uprights in place. I've got one on the gable end. We got a post here in the middle, and of course another one over here. Going to be a fun day putting that up. We're not going to do that today. We'll save that for another day. That'll be interesting. Well, everybody, I got the second 2x10 on there. Now it's time to flip it over and do it on the other side to finish this up. You know, I've made these beams up before, and I've never used the glue. I've always just nailed them with the plywood in between. I've always had good luck with it. And this time I decided to use glue and screws, but you know, when I was screwing this top 2x down, I noticed I really wasn't getting a good squeeze out. So I went back to nailing it, and then after it was all nailed, I went and I put some screws in it. I don't know, you can kind of see there nails and the screws. But, you know, with rough cut lumber, it's never nice and flat. It's always a little bit wavy until you run it through a planer. And if you look, you can kind of see. I don't know if it'll show on the camera, but of course the plywood is nice and flat, but the 2x material, it's got that little waviness from right off the mill. So you're not getting a nice two flat surfaces connecting. So I don't know if this glue is really worth the effort or not. I suppose it'll work in some spots, but not in others. So we'll see how it goes. But I know that this beam will be fine without glue, since I've done them this way in the past with good success. But after this one, I don't know if I'm going to bother with the glue anymore. Here's a little better angle of those faces. And I'll zoom in here. And there you can see it's a little tight right there. And then there's a gap. And it gets tight right in through there. It's just the nature of rough cut lumber. It's just a wavy faces until you run them through a planer.
probably come on this way. Oh no. Now,
Everybody, that's one heavy beam. Took everything we had just to get it up on the sill plates. I've decided I'm not going to add another layer of 2x just because it's so heavy. Once I get it up and get it in place, it'll be a lot easier to add those up in place than it is to add them now and then lift it up. So we'll wait and see how it looks when I get it in place, and then I'll make a decision then if it needs more material or not.
you gonna use that board? So you don't put it.
You know, an old carpenter once told me once, whenever you take a board off like that, pull the nails. There's nothing that'll ruin your day more than somebody just throws that on the ground and you step on it and put a nail through your foot.
Starting to rain.
Try to stand it up.
Where do you want me to be?
I guess right about where I am, about over there.
On the other side of this pole?
Yeah, folks, we got that in place. I had to adjust my bracing a little bit so that I could get this beam right up next to these posts. I just put my angle bracing on the other side. We're going to lift this beam up with wall jacks, and once I get probably a little better than halfway up these posts, I will add more angle bracing coming to this side. And that's a little springy, you know, but it's not bad. It's kind of bouncy, but once we get it on that center post, I don't think it's going to be bad at all. It should be quite sturdy. And if not, we'll add a little more to it when it's up there. Like I said earlier, I'm going to make that decision when it's in place rather than try to lift that much more weight all at once. Well, looks like that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you later.